Hey, we're back. How's everyone doing? This is me, a sledgehammer I got for $20, and my water bottle. Also, my working boots, because the last time I tried this, I accidentally tapped my toe, and that hurt a lot more than I expected. So, in today's attempt to get to do some self therapy because I can't afford it. I wanted to talk about what I've been up to recently and what's been bugging me and what I've been thinking about. The biggest thing on my mind is that I am still making setting myself back. It was my birthday on October 13th, and birthdays have always, well, since about 2014, birthdays have always been kind of difficult for me. And, I don't really look forward to them these days. And I'm not trying to discount like anything my friends have ever done for me or my family has ever done for me, because it's great. It's really appreciated. But, I typically spend them just at home. I don't do anything. But, in relation to meeting someone 3 years ago, I was starting to look forward to them again because I got to spend it with them. So that takes me to this past birthday 2 days ago. So the day is going just fine. I just, it's just like any other day, unfortunately. And I woke up and that was like the first thing that I thought about, that I'm not going to be able to spend my birthday with them like I originally thought I was going to be able to. So the day goes on, the day goes on, the day goes on. I'm sad. I'm going through it. And I'm having cake downstairs, and we still have quite a few left. And I am watching something on my TV to just pass the time. Because everyone's asking me, are you going to do anything tonight? You got any plans? And I just tell them no, because I really didn't. I had plans, but obviously it wasn't going to happen. So I'm watching TV, and then I get the urge to try and make myself feel better. And the way I decided to make myself feel better was silly enough. I wanted to include them in my birthday somehow. So I went downstairs and I cut 2 pieces of cake, put it on a disposable plate. My mom helped me with the saran wrap. I wrote a little note just explaining really how I wanted them to be there and that I miss them. And keep in mind, I understand that this is only hurting me. But, in that moment, it wasn't really what I was thinking about. I wanted to make myself feel better, and I was sad, and this silly little action was going to make me feel like like they were with me in some way. All I was doing was just dropping off some cake. So I loaded up in the car, and I'm on my way. I'm really nervous on the way there. Terribly nervous. I can feel my breathing getting a little heavier. I can feel my hands shaking a little bit. My hands are also sweating. Like everything in my body is telling me to turn back around. But I don't. I keep going. I make it to their house. I slip the note on the door. I knock really hard on the door to hopefully increase the chances that someone will hear and come to the door, find the plate, pick it up, bring it inside. Because I really didn't want the bugs to come and get it. So I knock really hard, and I left my car running because obviously I wasn't going to be there for very long. And I make it back to the car, and on the way back to my car, I just notice, I see the car of someone in particular, and I get in my car, I drive away, and it's maybe around the point where I get on the freeway, like 5-6 minutes later, like I get a rush of frustration or sadness or both, and I hit the roof. I punch the roof of my car as hard as I can, like 6 times, because I didn't know what else to do, and I didn't feel like talking to anyone. I think to myself, you know what, this is not, I knew I should not have come here. I knew this was a bad idea. But sometimes you just do things because even if it's going to hurt you, or even if it's the wrong thing to do, like you want to do it. It's probably selfish. But I couldn't help it. And that's partially what I wrote in the note, that I hadn't figured out how to stop myself from caring and, loving them. So I get back home, and, all day my mom has been, asking me, like, you want to do this? You want to do that? Do you want to invite anybody? And the whole day I'm very serious, in a poor mood. And I make it really easy for my mom or anybody really to notice that I'm in a poor mood, because I wear it so much on my sleeve. I wear it on my face, for God's sake. So my mom, as I'm driving home, when I left the house, I left my mom watching TV. She asked me if I wanted to join her, but I said I wanted to do this first, and that I'll be right back. So when I'm driving home, I'm thinking to myself, hoping that they're still there, because I needed to talk to somebody about what I was going through the whole day. And luckily, my mom is still watching TV. So I go up to her, I give her a hug, and I ask her if I can talk to her. And she says, yeah, let's talk. Sit down. So I tell her what I'm going through. I told her what I had planned 2 weeks ago or so. And I don't cry, but I am sad. I told her that I'm sad. And that, I only had one thing on my mind all day. So my mom is understanding and, consoles me. She's holding my hand. I'm glad I was able to talk to her, because if I just held it in, like I had been doing all day, for the whole day, and I didn't tell anybody, I don't know if I would have felt as good by the end of the night, because I needed that. maybe part of me wishes that I hadn't done hadn't made the cake run, um, and maybe just done the conversation with my mom, but I wasn't really thinking properly, obviously. So me and my mom and I, she gives me a hug because I'm telling her I'm gonna go back to my room and just spend the rest of the night in my room watching something. And as I'm watching the TV again in my room, I go to Twitter and check check their Twitter. I haven't passed this point, unfortunately, in the grieving process, and I'm assuming that they'll tweet something about it, and I'm just assuming. I don't have an idea if they're actually gonna do it or not. A part of me feels like they would if they found it being the cake and the note. But it was honestly just an assumption. And I see that they tweeted, and I start to feel a little happy. Not because they tweeted and acknowledged me, but I felt happy in that moment because it made me feel like we were sharing the cake together. And I know how crazy that sounds, but for whatever reason, it made sense to me at that moment. I cut two pieces, not because it was to signify like we're going to share a piece of cake together. Honestly, I included two pieces of cake because I wanted to also leave enough in case other people in the house wanted to have some, like their family. But, you know, just as it happens, it's nice when things kind of work out that way. So, I felt happy in that moment. It was really nice. I know I sound crazy. I know I sound delusional, because it doesn't change anything. And I know that. It was, I just needed a win, as selfish as it sounds, or is actually, because I should be trying to take this time to move on with my life, not try to hold each other back by reaching out or anything. I get it. It's not lost on me. So the night ends. I go to sleep, and then I do something dumb. The next day, I'm watching a movie during the nighttime. It's like 10, maybe, or 9. I don't remember it 100%. And, I'm on their Twitter again. And then I see that they tweeted a couple times, and it said, "Why does everyone hate me? And I just need someone to be nice to me. Is that so much to ask?" And something in me just kind of came out. I got so sad. And in my head, I'm thinking I could call and I could see what's going on. But I also know that they're not going to pick up. And I don't know why they would. I don't know why, but I call And as expected, it goes to voicemail. And I just leave a voicemail explaining I hope you're okay. I'm sorry that you're feeling not so great. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take a quick break from my sad therapy session to acknowledge, like, hey, this is where I get serious in the exercise. And I decide to live out my Creed 2 montage fantasy and do this shirtless while it's 96 degrees outside. I don't do it for very long, thankfully, because it's too hot, and I'm not gonna risk. I didn't put any sunscreen on my body. Okay, back to my story. Back to my therapy session. Um, so I call. I left a voicemail. I call again. The more I call, the more I realized in that night, in that moment, I realized, like, the more I call, the more I risk getting blocked, which would suck. But I also have to tell myself to stay focused, be strong, because they're going through it just like I am, and reaching out is not helping. It's kind of the theme of my year, I think. So, called twice, left the voicemail only once. And I was just sad for the rest of the night. I just told myself I should go to sleep, because being awake is just causing me more stress. So I go to sleep. And then I wake up today, October 15th, and I feel better. I don't know if I feel good about having called, and I don't know if I feel bad. It was just something that I felt like I had to do. And it had me thinking about this scene from How I Met Your Mother with Ted while he's looking for the locket for Robin. It's in a bunch of montages about, like, love and heartbreak and stuff. You probably know the scene. He's giving his explanation for what love is. That no matter how much it destroys you or hurts you, you don't ever stop, ever. Because if you stopped or gave up, it would be some other insignificant thing that's not worth fighting for or not worth it. And it's a TV show. Yeah, I think the only time you should be using TV shows as an example for your life is when things are going well, not so much when things are going bad. The grand gestures, the jukebox out, the boom box outside their window. It doesn't work in real life when things are going bad. It only works when they're into you or things are going really, really well. And I never really knew what he meant until more recently, because that's how I kind of feel. That's how I feel. And it's not helping me right now. And I get that. Or maybe I don't, because I don't seem to be changing my behavior. But I understand that it's hurting me. I just have to be able to stop behaving that way. Hopefully sometime soon, for my own sanity. Because if I keep going down this path, I am not going to progress. I'm going to stunt my progress. I said the same thing twice. I'm not going to have a good time. Regardless of my feelings. So, yeah, that's been my weekend. One long, long sad fest. Hopefully, I'll be going back to work tomorrow. I can focus up and start a new week. I've made a personal finance tracker to get back on that. Um, Hopefully, save some more money at some point. Get back to also another week of turkey sandwich, some yogurt, fruit, and some water. But this video's helping. This self therapy's helping. All right. Take care, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.